Hey everyone, I'm so sorry. Um, there's a whole lot of chaos going on at my house, and it seems like someone's knocked out the internet. Um, so I lost connection, said everything. So it looks like we're back now. Um, I'm just bringing Marissa back. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. There's absolute chaos going on um, outside my
Oh,
room, and it,
don't
and
worry.
uh,
I thought it
it,
was my fault. I'm not
I'm
worried.
not sure. I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but I restarted everything. There's a whole lot of moving happening outside. There's movers here and stuff, and I think they knocked something out as well. So my internet might have dropped a little bit as well. So I'm sorry.
Let's do this Q&A, like let's finish. It's late here. It's like like I stay up all night anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like I can't sleep lately.
Yeah, no, me neither. Me neither. It's the whole length thing. Um,
I'm
but
glad we caught each other again. It's been like the worst ending for this. It would have been just disappointing and
just like, hi, and I know. I was like, no, 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 no. But yeah, no. So we were discussing that you are learning piano now, so that's going to be a beautiful new addition, hopefully. Um, and will give you a totally different sound, I think.
I know that's the point. Like I think if you do I guess like once you have an established sound, it's a bad thing. So it's a change. So anyway, I actually always wanted to learn the piano, and this is making me love music again. And I'm like, it's hard, but it's very rewarding to learn to read music and stuff. So
Yeah,
um,
it gives you something, a project to work on as well.
a long project.
Yeah, I mean, I only played piano when I was really young, very young, and yeah, I found I was never good at the reading music, so
That's fun.
I'm so jealous of anyone who can who's flawless. I've always loved Tori Amos as a pianist.
Oh yeah,
Um,
back in the day, I went to a few Tori Amos concerts myself.
yeah,
I love
I always wanted to learn because of her. I was like,
her.
I'm gonna get a piano, and I'm just gonna be me and a piano. But yeah,
She's
it's yeah, and I think like, I mean, she's still going and creating and doing all sorts of things now. Like I think she just released a book as well. Um, so yeah,
voice
she's
really effed me up. Like my mother and me used to drive around listening to that record, like horses, and I love that stuff so much. I mean,
yeah,
you know, I don't mention it a lot in interviews just because maybe I don't know why, but being a girl of the 80s and 90s, that stuff was pretty prevalent. Like Ani DeFranco was big for me too.
yeah, yeah,
I had a
yeah,
Right Babe t-shirt.
yeah. Yeah, I think like it is like it was such a huge, um, yeah, important thing. I mean, I used to be obs I was obsessed with Blood Roses, the way
Yeah.
she switches pianos, and then also the way she switches her voice.
I, you know, I'm
It's just
I'm not cool like you, so I don't know. I have to look, you had to send me a mixtape.
okay, okay, I will. But it's a phenomenal song, and I used to have the live concert and the when it was back on VHS. And 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 when she plays that song live, it's phenomenal. Like she literally has two pianos and she sits in the middle on one stool and she literally just
Yeah.
twists turns, and she has different microphones on each one. It's just, yeah, it's phenomenal. Like I've never been lucky enough to see her play live because she doesn't really come to Australia.
Oh, I
Um,
saw her a few times, and it really, I hope she comes to Australia for you.
Yeah, I do. I do. I'm always like, oh, please.
Is it
But you
bad? I'm
know,
smoking some weed because
do
I
it. Um,
helps my
people have,
anxiety.
people have, don't
All
worry about it.
oh no.
Some, at least you're just like, we had someone on, but there's no rules. Yeah, we had someone on the other week. Yeah, from Crowhurst, and he was just smoking bongs. So don't worry about it.
My mom wants me to get a water bong because she thinks it'll be better for my voice. So I'm gonna
Yeah, yeah.
like I personally don't think it's a drug. Like I think it's a nature's herb that is very therapeutic and relaxing. It's not
I've
chemical.
been, yeah, I've been using a lot of edibles during COVID.
I love edibles. It's illegal in Tennessee, so I can't get any. And I
Well,
used to
it's
make
it's a
major pot
it's
brownie.
illegal here.
What?
It's all illegal here.
Baking
So
them is fun, but you need like bulk to do it.
yeah, yeah. No, but there's an amazing person who has like a little store, and yeah, you get it all delivered nicely and fresh and whatnot, and it's just phenomenal. Yeah.
Alcohol is the one that kills people. Like
Oh
nobody
yeah, much
goes to
more.
gets in a car accident, or like kills somebody. It's always alcohol's the violent drug, and
Yeah,
to be regulated
yeah,
more. But anyway,
yeah.
so
If you get
let's
in
talk about
crazy.
you. Did you have any questions, like other questions?
Yes, I did. I had a few because I was like, because also I just wanted to see you, so it was an excuse to see
I know. I'm so such a good student. I'm like, so it's a Q&A. Do you have any questions?
you. You are, because like I've had people, a lot of them have been just conversations, and then I've had other people, who, like King Dude, who basically just interviewed me, and
Similar, like
and
they
I,
diagnosed, like I'm like, this is a Q&A. There's questions, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
and
very
and
good.
friends can, fans and stuff are able to leave questions down the bottom as well if they want to know something as well. So yeah, of course you can ask questions.
Yes, questions.
Yes,
Yes, you can ask
yes, yes.
questions.
There's a
That's
little
my one of
box
my
down
favorite.
the bottom with
Yeah.
a question mark. So yeah, if people send it to there, then I can grab them from there. But I did want to say to you, now with this sort of moving forward, have you thought, in terms of, I mean, you're only in the beginnings of learning piano, but have you been working on songwriting as well in the interim?
Yes. Like that's the whole point of me learning the piano.
Learning the piano, yeah,
I've like just destined myself to make this 10th studio album like better than July and better than any record I've done. And so I decided to learn a new instrument. And I went through a lot of transitions the past few years in my personal life. So like I, I have a raw heart and the need to get it out.
you
And I'm
do,
holding it.
yeah,
I don't write songs every day like a day job. I kind of
yeah,
pour it up until I'm going to explode and then write a record. And so right now I'm just like woodshedding and learning, like playing covers to get good at the piano.
yeah.
I'm gonna
Because
like,
I know you've had a quite an emotional, tough time recently, so much love to you. You
oh,
know that I'm there for you always. So
you
I mean,
know, love is, it's all fair in love and war, whatever the expression is. It's all just like love stuff.
yeah. Someone's asking if you are vegetarian, which I
I'm a
assume you mostly are.
vegetarian, yeah. So what is the Nirvana quote? It's okay to eat fish because I don't have any feelings.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's not actually true, but like I'm leaning. My brother is a complete vegetarian, and I'm like working towards it.
Hmm.
Mostly, like I eat mostly vegetable stuff.
Yeah. That's
Like
sort of the same as me. I can't eat seafood anyway. I'm allergic to it, but I actually find
olive.
it just I kind of find it gross anyway. Anything that smells that bad shouldn't be eaten. Is basically my view. Yeah, anything that smells so disgusting. Oh,
Like the next year, I'm transitioning to complete, like, I need to learn a few more recipes, you know, but like, I'm getting there.
once you get the basics like down, and then you can do so many different things, like in different variations with things as well, which is, it makes it a lot easier. Um, it doesn't sound as boring, well, as people think it's really boring, but it's actually not.
I know
Especially
that's
especially if you're
why our
like,
world is collapsing, you know, like it
mm,
is the human race, like the world is biting back as far as I'm
yeah,
concerned. I feel
yeah.
like because like people were eating things they weren't supposed to be eating. I don't know, whatever. Like,
And just also just treating the earth not nicely, you know. Um, and it kind of eventually it has to come around to get you, I guess. Um, so I guess, are you approaching your lyric writing in a different way now, like with having the piano in mind as the way you're going to perform it?
lyrics are a tough thing. I have a love-hate relationship with words. Sometimes I just want to make ambient music with no words so that people can interpret the melodies the way they want to. And yeah, words are hard. My brother is a novelist, and my like I'm around writers, surrounded by writers, and so I have a little bit of a hang up, I think, like an insecurity about words, because
Yeah, because everybody else is around you is.
yeah, and I'm a good writer. I think I'm just like a believer in the fact that there's art forms that exist because words can't do them justice, like
Mhm.
music and painting and photography, and like, so when like music notes can do the thing that they need to do without words. So I'm working into minimal, like the economy of language,
Yeah,
like Hemingway approach, I guess, just kind of as few words as possible.
yeah, yeah. And there was a question about obviously a new album, and that's what you're working towards during this whole crazy period. Um, so it's, that's, and with you learning piano and stuff, who knows when, is that probably something that's going to come around next year, or?
I'm supposed to deliver a record by the end of the summer.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I
This
actually am
this
gonna
summer?
record
This
this.
summer?
I'm supposed to deliver the record, I think, by autumn or something, the end of autumn for a spring release. And I think that all I need to do, I'm gonna record it myself, I think.
Hmm.
Like, strangely, my demos have had more success than my studio record. So,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
and on my recording, like, fidelity has gone up as we've had access to better gear, as Apple has gotten
Yeah,
more.
everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Also,
another thing everyone's been doing, is learning how to record and mix and do all that stuff at home better.
yeah, I mean, I personally like love lo-fi music so much. Like, I love crunchy demos and home recordings and the way they sound and how close they sound in your heart. And so I've always been torn. Every time I get into a studio, I'm just like,
Yeah, you just don't want it tweaked too much, sort of thing. Yeah. I think that's why I've always liked Daniel Johnson, because there's absolutely nothing. It's just him and a tape recorder. I don't
yeah,
know if, and then his words, which are quite poignant, but more so poignant because of the way he's performing them, I think, you know. There's quite a lot of people who are giving kudos how much they really enjoyed your Sabbath cover of Solitude.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
That's
as well.
that was like the first like I recorded it and mixed it. It was my first big mix, you know.
Yeah.
I had like 18 tracks and I mixed it myself and I was like, I don't need any men helping me with this stuff and
Good.
really trying to censor myself so my account doesn't get blocked. But yeah, I really was proud of that one and it like led off to my new ambient world. Like I want to
Mm.
make horror movie soundtracks and
Oh my God, please. You know
yeah.
I'm there. I was speaking to a horror soundtrack creator just the other night. A marvelous guy called Massimo from Rome. Maybe I should hook you guys up and maybe you can do something with him because he's so eclectic in what he does, but he does horror. Yeah, really nice stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that sounds more fun than touring in COVID era. But like
yeah, yeah, and he's worked with
TV before I stopped doing it, you know.
yeah, yeah, because it's like it's such a bringing the two kind of worlds together, and I guess if it's something you really love, and then you can kind of branch out and do all these things now while you can,
Yeah.
you know.
Are you
Um,
are you doing okay?
yeah, I'm doing all right. I've got quite a lot of health issues at the moment, which people probably don't realize because when I come on here, I seem so chipper. But yeah, I have a lot of health things that I'm dealing with at the moment. But aside from that, um,
Are you okay?
yeah, I'm okay. I'm just I guess what the word is. I guess I'm kind of being studied.
Yeah, like you're
Um,
waiting to hear some stuff.
yeah, like I've got like some professors and some specialists and some surgeons and a hematologist and radiologist and whatever, and they've all been working together trying to um, put my mystery of my body together. So yeah, I've had a couple of weird things happen, and yeah, so they've been trying to figure that out. So yeah, I think Tuesday I'm going to have a discussion with them about the first step of what they. I think we're going to put a camera inside and have a look around, that kind of thing. So but because of COVID and like they don't want people to go into hospital, and they're kind of um not allowing certain beds to go to people who aren't COVID. So it's quite difficult at the moment to go to a hospital if you need to
Yeah.
for something else. So yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for an outcome of when I can get what I need to get done, and whether I need to go private or public, and what the waiting lists are like and all that kind of stuff. But I'm fine. I'm just tired. That's really
Like your main symptom.
Yeah, like my main symptom is that I'm mostly really tired. I have like quite bouts of like a lot of pain, but because there's something that's basically, I guess, in a weird way to explain it, there's something inside of me that's kind of bleeding or something, um and they need to figure that out. So they found like a blood and bone marrow disease, and then um a few other things like a benign tumor growing underneath my liver, and
It's good it's been
y- yeah, it's quite large and it's filled with blood vessels, so it's kind of but the radiologists are quite confident that that's not the main issue at the moment. The main issue is really the issue that I'm having with the blood, which is thrombocythemia or whatever it is. So it's basically your blood has too many of these sticky bits in it, um, and that usually happens if it can happen separately, but it can also happen because you've got an infection or some kind of inflammation or something like that happening inside your body. So yeah, so I had to have blood tests and CT scans and blah 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 blah. And when they did that, they found a tumor, and yeah, and then they've kind of, it seems like it's something in my intestines, but it's and so it's possible that once we find it, fix it, that the blood bone marrow um will go away, which is good because that's a horrible thing to treat. So
Yeah.
yeah, so at the moment it's actually quite positive. It's more positive than it was if you had asked me that question 2 weeks ago, because now I've sort of gotten a lot more feedback from everybody and all the different specialists coming in and having a look and all that kind of thing. And it just come out of nowhere, which is like the weirdest part about having a body is that things don't tell you, they just happen. And it was caught completely what would you call it, just a fluke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a scan for something. I thought I had IBS or something, and I just had a they were just doing a whole bunch of scans just to be 100% sure, and then that's when they found all this other stuff. So but yeah, I'm good, I'm just tired. And
That sounds really stressful. So you have to wait to hear kind of.
yeah, so I just gotta wait until Tuesday and sort of
So
look.
sorry
And
going through this.
oh, it's okay. Look, I've been ill since I was a little kid, so I'm kind of not surprised every time something weird comes up.
Yeah.
My doctor always says to me, this is one of the reasons I love you, Renee, is because you are such a mystery, and your body is just such a mystery, and there's always just this something amazing to discover. So I guess I'm like a weird little guinea pig. And I was saying to, I think it was Sarah Timms the other day, um, I was 4 months premature anyway, and I used to fit in the form, like just in the palm of the hand. And yeah, and my outlook on life was 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're like a
So
success story then.
yeah,
You're
so
gonna be. You're like a
so
fighter.
yeah, I'm 39 now, so
Yeah, maybe
it's
maybe this is just like nothing. But I understand the anxiety of waiting and like I'm really empathetic to what you're going through. That sounds really
yeah,
stressful.
it's just it's frustrating. It was actually really nice. The specialist called me last night, like on a Saturday night, just to like give me a little update. So that was really
That's
nice. But
nice to call on a Saturday
yeah,
night. That
yeah.
makes me feel
It
like
was like it didn't a number without an unknown caller, and I was like, I don't know who this would be, and I answered it, and then when he said who it was, I was like, hello, have you called on the wrong day? But no, I am doing well. In regardless of that, I think I've managed to turn it around into keeping myself busy. I'm writing a lot, um, and changing a lot of things in my home space. And yeah, and looking at like doing a lot of writing for other things as well as my own things.
New
And
York, so that's exciting.
yeah, like so, I've been doing random things here and there for things like BuzzFeed and whatnot, and I've been getting really into horror writing. So I've been doing a lot of horror reviews. Like I started a new site which is all reviews of horror films.
What's the name
Um,
of the website?
it's called The Night Shift, and
Oh,
yeah, I'll send you a link. And yeah,
yeah, that's
it's
exciting.
I've so during this time I've been I think I've watched so many new like 2019, 2020 films. It's absolutely ridiculous, and now I have to actually review them all. But yeah, um, oh, thank you everyone for the nice comments. Thank you. But
My
yes,
thing with that,
I'm
like, I feel like I'm like shattering illusion. No, I don't think I'll ever.
no, no.
People
That's the whole point.
that,
That's the
right?
whole point of this thing is like authenticity, getting to know who people are, and
I'm
and
clearly
you
a
know,
fucking right. Everybody knows.
exactly. And
Hope
yeah,
so. I'd
but
rather be a right.
yeah, I'd rather be a mess than well, than a fake pretend not mess, you know.
It's like I cannot stand the southern heat. This is my first Southern American summer, and it
Yeah.
is like literally you walk outside and it's like
And
so hot.
of course, it's the hair, black
Oh yeah,
clothes. I feel your pain.
I have an afro. I mean, I'm not like white, I'm ethnic, so I have like literally my hair frizzes up like
Hmm.
crazy. But
Yeah, you
I'm
need you need to get that the frizzy stuff. I don't know if they sell it over there.
it doesn't work on my hair. I've tried it. It's just like
Oh no.
I'm gonna embrace the pre-Raphaelite look, you know.
Yeah. Well, it
I
just
don't like
gives your hair it gives your hair more body and like, you know, more
yeah,
body and volume.
can't deal with the feeling of it, like the texture of hair gel is like kind of
Yeah, it's a bit sticky and gross. I'm not a fan of yeah, definitely not a fan of that. I'm just saying, checking if anyone else has had a weird kind of body. Oh, some weird just some weird
I love
comments.
big hair, both Yura.
Yeah, big hair is amazing. I agree with you. The bigger the better. Um, yeah, so I mean, I guess yeah, with the piano, like learning that and then kind of then learning the dynamic of having to put those lyrics to that music, and it's going to be a whole new process for you
I think
in a
it's
way.
I think it's I feel like I'm on the precipice of a creative like I already have like 10 studio albums, like 15, 20 extra albums, but like I really feel like I'm on the precipice of something new musically, so that's exciting. Like I still feel
Yeah,
young. I started really young, so I was like a kid when I put my first record out, right out of undergrad. So
yeah.
it was like this is like I still feel like I'm starting in a weird way. Like you're never done, you know?
No, no. And so do you feel like your next phase is that um is it going to be more of a solo you, or is it still going to be more of a collaborative thing, like with with the different members that you usually work with, or
I think it's gonna be mostly solo.
it makes
Well,
sense for piano, I think,
yeah,
you
I
know.
think it's like a lot of space, a lot of vocal, a lot of pain, and a lot of sadness. And
Yeah.
I mean, I have some producers that have reached out, and I'm not sure if I want to work with a producer or just with my own instincts. Like it's tough to say. The only
Yeah.
song that I ever had make any money was one I recorded on a MacBook, like on the internal microphone, and it like recouped my entire record deal. You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
torn on whether or not to like go pro or just DIY because people seem to like both, but I
Yeah,
like both.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
torn.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I mean,
Yes, yes. People
when you go
love
through.
I. Yeah. So they're being like, I want that too because then I could like buy like with the like record label advance or whatever, you could put it to mastering, you could put it to like a special edition
Hmm.
or like I don't know, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
usually
I think
producer.
doing, yeah, I feel like piano, like a stripped down version with you and a piano, I feel like that would be perfect for you. Like, and then, like you said, you instead of spending that money on the producer, you get to spend it on other things
Yeah.
as
I
well.
think to go
You just
like
gotta,
just
you just gotta follow your gut when you're
I
doing it,
know or
like,
men or influence. I don't have a manager anymore, I manage myself.
yeah,
Um for the first time in many years and it feels great. Like not listening to anybody, and I finally like regained control of my aesthetic. And it was like the fact that I ever listened to anybody about aesthetic is
Hmm.
like I'm so mad at myself for ever listening to anybody. I mean, I went to art school for so many years. Like, it's just like women out there, you got to trust yourself and not let,
Yeah, yeah.
not that I love
I
men,
mean
but
that, yeah, yeah. But there's also, sometimes, yeah, you need, like, if you've got a manager, it's sometimes it's just so much freeing to be able to be who you are and do what you want to do without someone trying to dictate and tell you what things you should be doing. You know what I mean? So
no,
I'm
I know.
proud. I'm proud of you for being able to do that. Like, and
It's a lot.
take charge.
I do
But
all my mail order, like all the,
yeah,
and like it's a lot, but I don't know if I want another manager just because it was like, ugh, I'd rather just be DIY till I die.
yeah. And I love. You know what I love about DIY is that I love getting mail order stuff from the artist.
Yeah.
Like I got some t-shirts sent, and it was like it came straight from the artist. Like, and it made me feel better about that. You know what I mean? It was like, they physically put this together, put it in a box, and sent it to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'd
Yeah.
rather spend more money.
Maybe there's a
Um,
hair in there. I'm always
yeah, yeah.
like, I have to wear like a hairnet, I swear. I got some looks like it's from a secondhand shop. People are mean. I
Yeah,
try to
yeah,
run it up too. Like my studio is so clean right now. Look at this. Wait, I'm gonna show you.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Like
wow. Yeah,
started sewing again, so there's like
yes.
had a little dress on my mannequin friend.
Uh,
She's my best
yeah.
friend right now. The only like we talk and stuff. So yeah. Well,
It
DIY
is.
is where it's at. I agree. Artists don't need someone to take cuts of their money. I know, dude. Like I was like, I couldn't even afford to have McDonald's like a few
It's
months,
the,
like a year ago.
yeah.
And like I had a song with like 25 million streams. Like that's not right. But
No,
like
it's not.
at the
It's so not right.
back with no manager and like my record, whatever. We're not gonna go there. But like I had some
But
bad
the
shit.
point, yeah. But the point is, you've you've risen above it, and now you're taking it back, and I think that's such a great thing. And you can do, like, the money is going back to you. And I think people appreciate that more. That's why I love buying things DIY, or that's a lot of the times why people like buying things directly from someone's Bandcamp that's not through a record label or whatever, because it's going straight to the artist, and
Yeah,
you know it is, and there's
that's
no
why I was
cut.
able to buy a keyboard. Like that
Yeah.
first Bandcamp day, I put out like some covers, and I made more than I had made off Spotify in years. And I was like, oh my God, I'm able. The year previously, I had to sell all my gear, like
Mm.
just to well, long story, but whatever. I sold like my keyboard, my guitars, and so it was really nice to be able to buy another guitar, a
Yeah.
keyboard, and got a new guitar, and like it's just hard work, perseverance. It pays off.
Yeah, yeah. Is
It
that
goes,
the is your new guitar? Is that pretty white one that you just?
yeah, I'll show it to you. It's who recommended it to me? Lawrence Rothman.
Love Florence.
It's
Yes.
a Malibu.
Oh, wow.
Called a it's actually just a Fender, but I've just decided to have everything in this room white because I have ADD and like have trouble focusing, so I don't like clutter and I want everything just like blank, you know.
Yeah,
So
like a nice sort of, um I'm trying to think, like a canvas.
like a blank palette, yeah. So
Yeah.
like he recommended this and I really like it because it's much smaller. Like my hand
How many centimeters is it? Just out of,
I don't know, it's
do you
just
know?
like bit of a smaller lady. It's like a
Hmm.
woman, instead of a man. Like I used to play dreadnoughts, which
Yeah,
and like
very,
I
yeah,
her brother was a guitar player, and my only brother, in like I just played his guitar, and I'm a lefty, and I had to learn his righty guitar. But
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
this was just I'm trying to downsize to like more of my size, you know.
Yeah, because I've been trying to figure out because I played guitar throughout my teenage years, and then through life and people putting you down, your dreams down. I guess I kind of stopped playing, and I always wanted to keep playing, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately about
Girl, you need to
picking one up.
start playing piano and guitar again. Like,
Mm,
there's any reason that we had this conversation other than like reaching out to people, I think it's that you should, like, you love music, you
mm.
love, like, you should do that for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's
I've been eyeing off so many
uh,
guitars, but trying to think what size I want. I want to start with an
a great,
acoustic.
and it was really
Yeah,
cheap too. Like, it's not expensive and it plays great. It plugs in. It has a tuner and a Fender should really, well, Fender did give me a guitar, but like I bought this one because I needed one. But like
yeah,
you would love this because it's tiny. Like the neck
yeah,
is small for a woman's hands. You can really,
yeah. And that's what I need. Like I think because when I was young, I was like, I'm going to be a rock god, and so I had an electric guitar and like was very, you know. And I think my guitar was much too masculine for me, and
you can
you know,
still be a rock goddess.
yeah,
Serious, like I'm a big maybe it's my like art educator side, but I'm a big advocate of it's never too late. Like serious,
yeah,
like I would
yeah,
like I could give you a little finger picking lesson.
yeah. I love that. Yeah, because it's been so long, and because I was never great at reading music. I was always by ear or just would learn by tab. You know what I mean? So I always kind of, and I struggled with the rudimentary kind of things like exercises and learning that kind of thing.
I quit for the same reason. I
Mm.
think that back in the 80s and 90s, there wasn't as much knowledge about different types of learning. Like when I did like became an art educator, I realized that like, oh, I'm a visual learner and I'm not good at auditory processing. So I think a lot of people that grew up in our generation missed out on like the Montessori approach and the Reggio Emilia approach of like
Mm.
or the Suzuki method, even like where you're just not having to learn Mary Had a Little Lamb, but you're
Yeah.
like I quit piano lessons because I was like I'm already writing songs and I don't want to learn this shit.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Let's Saints go marching in and crap like that. And you're like, I can't get, and there was a lot of I think it was like Bad Moon Rising and stuff. That was probably the coolest song that we did, but it was always like lessons in a little room with a really old guy, you know,
Of
and it
course,
was just,
well, I had a pretty cute guitar teacher and
oh, that's good. I had an
was
old bloke.
a mullet and acid wash jeans. And I
Yeah.
smoked a joint in the Leechmere parking lot in Massachusetts. Like, I was so nervous, and the first song I wanted to learn was Santana's Samba Pati, which is actually still really beautiful, but because I wanted to impress the guys. So, like, my lessons early on were all bad.
Yeah.
It was like either just being bored or like having a crush. So,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
kids these days are so lucky. They have the YouTube. YouTube is where I learn everything now. It's like it's so
You can
visual.
learn so much on there. It's just all on there now. It's
We were
crazy.
screwed.
Yeah,
Our
we
was
had to
like
actually.
last
Do you remember you had to go and buy the actual book of the album or whatever it would be? Like so you would go, oh, I'm gonna go buy. You'd go and buy like Nirvana in Utero, and it would be the book of the music of the album. Like you had to actually go buy
I loved it. Yeah.
you know, all that kind of thing. You know, and then like there'd be tab books with whatever. And I used to spend, me and my friend when I was like 13, we used to spend every weekend like trying to learn to play every song off Whole Live Through This. You know, it was like that was our thing.
Well, I
Every weekend, just trying to
have,
play the same album over and over again.
she's like Hole was a big thing for me, I have to say. Like
They were massive for me,
tied
and I
to
think
like my first record with like when I was a teenage whore.
yes,
Like
yeah,
so my mother and my father, they're big hippies, you know. My mother didn't really like Hole. Like she loved
yeah.
Nirvana, but she just couldn't get down with Hole. And so she's the reason that I play the music I do today because I was into Hole. I was in a screamo band. I was like able to scream. And she bought me Carole King Tapestry, Joni Mitchell Blue, and Leonard Cohen. Like, cause she's just like, I can't deal with this anymore. And, it did it changed me, I have to say. But I
Yeah,
still,
I mean, I
I
think
mean,
that
my
that
record.
that yeah, that music, like it affected me emotionally, and I think life-wise, I became I was a very quiet person, a very quiet girl. Um, and when that album came out, I remember I lived in the country in the middle of nowhere, and I had to order in Pretty on the Inside, and I had to order it in from far, far away and wait
I,
weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for it to come. And then eventually they called me and said it's here. And they had no idea what it was. This beautiful couple, they were elderly, and they just had like, you know, this little alternative section where they would put random things that their like grandchildren told them were cool. And but yeah, the things that I usually wanted, they didn't have, and I'd have to order them in. And yeah, so I remember the exact day that I went and picked up Pretty on the Inside, and I was like just transformed from like being, I guess like a passive female in the way that I thought about things, like because I was much more, I was always loud and I always had my own thoughts, and that album just transcended my thinking completely. And from then on, you couldn't stop me then. I was like, I became like, just like obsessed with like, you know, became really into feminism, and became like just so much into like women's supporting and you know, mentoring, and just it just became such a huge thing for me.
yeah, like I feel the same way. I feel like she got a little screwed in terms of like she needs a revisionist history. Like she
Oh,
needs
100%.
to
Yeah,
evaluate. Like she was blamed
for everything.
for everything, and like I do think she was a problematic, like she was an easy target, but it wasn't fair, and like her music was one of the big reasons that I became a musician. Like as I went home from high school, I was like a loner. I was a not a cool kid. I was a weirdo, and I loved MTV and I loved
Yeah.
her, and she was like Elliott Smith in a way, like a voice for the outcast. And
Yeah,
so
she was, and also not so, and the female outcast, and what I and like Queen of the Static Opera was just saying, you know, she got yokoed, and I 100%
she did
believe
get code, yeah.
she did. And my view has always been of Courtney, that the reason I love her so much is because she is 100% wholeheartedly, um this is what you get.
Yeah.
She's angry, she's angry. She's sad, she's sad. If she's having a breakdown, she's having a breakdown. And she's unapologetic about that. She's a real human being. She's three-dimensional.
Yeah.
And when a man does that, it's fine. But if a female does that, you're an easy target. It's like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, she's another. Oh, she's a slut. Oh, she's a, like, she couldn't possibly have written this album. It's too good. Her,
So
you
many,
know,
so many dudes I know still think she killed Kurt.
oh,
Like,
so many. I know. I know the same. I'm like so
you're
many.
being
It's
serious?
like,
Like, you didn't, dude. Like, there's no way. Like they were all messed up back then, but I really don't. It's just
yeah.
I
And
feel
you kind of feel bad. And I was saying to a friend, like, people forget Kurt Cobain was a heroin addict who lied and manipulated and hid things from his wife and from his family. He was in a bad way. He was going down that path anyway, you
men
know.
always get like the Jesus. Like I'm
Yeah,
the
yeah. And when Courtney's talked about it, and people have said, how much they feel like it's her fault. And she said, there are parts that I feel like maybe it was my fault, but the main thing that I feel like it is my fault is that I made an intervention, and that's what caused everything. She got all of the bands together, all the friends, all the family. She staged an intervention, had Kurt put in rehab. He didn't want to be there. He escaped, got on a plane, went home, shot himself. Like, and she's been blamed for that, and she's had to live with that her entire life.
I know. Like it's not. It's just bullshit. Like I
Mm.
I still get mad at like like literally every dude I know in every band in Seattle and Boston and New York is like, Courtney killed him. Like I know somebody that knows somebody. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I love her. I'm not gonna make any excuses for it. She's like one of the reasons I play guitar. I was like
yeah. She's the
big
reason
in
I picked up guitar. She's the reason that I, learnt so much stuff about music and history and women in music and all of that stuff. And I think people just, it's easier to blame her than it is to accept the truth. And men, I mean, Yoko is a perfect example of that as well. It's like when Yoko, when John Lennon decided he didn't want to be a Beatle anymore and he wanted to be peace and love and do all this stuff, it was all blamed on Yoko, that it was Yoko's influence. She was tearing them away. And it's such a horrible stereotype and a horrible thing that keeps getting perpetuated, like all the time throughout. There's so many women that have had to deal with that, and it's really, yeah, she does need a revisit, and I
I
hope
hope it happens for
that
her.
she
Like
gets it. Yeah,
it's time for Courtney's reevaluation and history.
yeah. I mean, even if you watch, there's a film, there's the Kurt film montage of Heck. And even if you watch that, the members, like, people were with her. There is absolutely no way she did it. Like, and her band members have come out and said, like she loved him more than life itself. There is no way on earth she would have done that. There's just none. And like, it's insane. And then I think it was Patty Schemmel, the drummer from Hole, who put out an album about her drug abuse, and she used, I don't know if you've seen it, but you should watch it purely for the Courtney and the Kurt footage, because all the way through is unseen real life footage of them together. And I can tell you, watching that, I can't imagine someone loving someone so much that they would do that. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's a fantasy that angry men cling to. You know what I mean? And that's one of
I
the, I know, silly.
what?
I was just saying, it's just silly. It just gets me mad because I get so flustered over it.
I know, like um I totally agree.
It's just a tough, yeah. If you're gonna date a male musician, yeah, be prepared to be a target. I guess, isn't it? Really?
Oh,
It's very,
Patty. Well, I know what I was gonna say. It's like warm in here, so I'm a little spacey.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I hate this. The South is like this is my, as I said, my first summer in the South, and it's the heat is really getting to me. I'm like a real ice queen. So, um, Patty Schemmel plays drums on Blue Vapor.
Oh, amazing. I love
Isn't that
Patty. And yeah, and
he's
I love her brother
Lord?
as well, Larry. He's lovely. Very, very lovely people. And yeah, and and Patty's to the death said, you can say whatever you want about her. She never did it, but she's like, you know what? No, throughout my whole, like, I don't know if you know Patty's story, but she fell apart um after Celebrity Skin when she wasn't playing in the band, and she completely fell apart. She ended up living in Skid Row in LA, and
You
like,
seemed a little bit of it. Like I was
and
kind of starstruck when I met her. Like trying to play cool, and she
yeah,
she was counting a bunch of that her horror stories, and I'm just like just trying to not be a fangirl because
mm,
she had no idea that I was like,
yeah, having a like massive like yeah.
horror. Yeah.
Yeah, and she went through all that stuff, and then she says, the person who saved me was Courtney. I would ring Courtney. I would go to I don't know what they call they have it in America, but not here. Where you transfer money or something. There's a name
Yeah.
for it, like a place. And yeah, and she would go there and call Courtney, and without even questioning, Courtney would just send her money all the
Oh,
time. Like, because
that's awesome.
and eventually, Patty's completely sober and she's got an amazing life, a wife and a child, and all of that kind of stuff. But it's funny because Mark Lanigan just wrote a book, and he mentions in that book that if it wasn't for Courtney Love, like, he may not be here right now. She saved his life. And originally he didn't like her, that like because he was one of Kurt's close friends, along with Dylan Carlson from Earth, and both of which didn't like her at the time. And yeah, and then after Kurt died, and I think Lane died and whatnot, um, Mark went through a really difficult time, and it was Courtney who reached out to him, and she left a note at some, I think, like some secondhand store where he would go and get guitars and things. And she left a note there for him saying, if you want help, if you need help to get out of this situation, call me. Like, these are the details, blah, blah, blah. And he ignored it and was like, I don't want to help, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, he was in a place where he was like, I'm going to, and he did. And he went and lived with her. She bought him clothes. It's an amazing story, and yeah, he goes into detail about it. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of misunderstanding there, definitely. I'd love to hear you. I would actually love to hear you play something from Hole.
You can't put
That's
me like right
not
now.
not
No,
that no, not right now, not right now.
I'm
Um,
like not play
no, no,
nothing
no,
right now.
not right now.
I'm gonna
No,
take
I would
Violet.
love to. Yeah, I would love to hear you do a cover of something from Hole. That
I
would be
used to do
amazing.
doll parts like when I was 15 years old.
Oh,
Like,
same.
and um,
I always alternated between doll parts and yeah, and Violet.
Violet is so good. And the
It's the
sky
best.
made of
Yeah,
amethyst.
so good, so good. And I even love her. I even love the way she turned. At the end of Pretty on the Inside, and you have Pretty on the Inside, and then you have when she did her kind of raw cover of
No, where did
Joni Mitchell's.
clouds?
Yes, and she does
Yeah,
her raw like version of that, and it is really powerful. And
it
then you
is
go,
powerful. It goes like,
and the amazing,
it, I loved
yeah,
it. I'm a huge
yeah,
Joni Mitchell fan, but
yeah,
that's like,
same. Because I love the original, yeah. And then when I heard that, I love how she started it with, she always had those little lines, and she started it with the I think it's like, real guitar like riff, and then it was like bad boy,
Yeah.
and then she starts in, and I'm like, oh my God, this is good. Like, yeah, very underestimated artist and lyricist,
I
and many
know. I
many things.
can't wait for her to get reevaluated on Twitter and get uncanceled. You
Oh,
know,
I know
cancel before
him.
cancel culture.
Yeah, yeah. I
She's
mean, yeah.
like the wife of a man. Whatever. I know I'm gonna have a lot of emails about this tomorrow, I'm
Oh,
sure,
don't
but
worry. Send them to
my
me.
body,
I'll tell them what for.
my body hand grenade
Oh,
that
yes. I know. Yeah.
cover to have on it that was so good.
There was
Can't
quite
remember.
a few on there. There was we had Beautiful Sun, which was that beautiful. I remember the record had Kurt Cobain as a child on it with flowers all around it. It was really nice. Yes, it
What
is.
I'm gonna like literally Courtney Love would love this because she loves that.
She would.
Anyway, so it's so hot. I
Back
have to
to
pee, so we have
back to you.
like five, two more questions because I have to
All
pee.
right. So is anybody, let's see if we can, has anyone got any specific questions that they would like to ask Marissa while we're on
Oh
here?
God.
They always, it
No.
takes a little bit of time just for them to come
Oh
through.
yeah. Let's see. The next record is going to be called August, I think. Like,
Oh, yeah. Nice.
like
And
me.
how much input, I mean, obviously you have a lot of input, but like when you're thinking about the covers and like what you want to do you actually do it yourself? Because you can.
Nobody else is involved. Like, especially, yeah, nobody else is involved. Like, I
Because
did the last,
I know you do photography and everything, so there's no you can do it yourself.
well, I painted the last cover of the
Hmm.
last record, and that was the first one I actually painted. All the others were photos, and so from
Mm.
now on, I'm just not gonna outsource this shit because I just gave too much control aesthetically to people that didn't like earn it, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm tired of that. Like, I'm going insular, more like, Grouper. I love her,
Yes,
and she
yes.
records her own records, and like Enya records all of her own records, and Kate Bush did, and they live in their little castles, and I want
Yes, yeah.
to stand deck or whatever.
I would like to be, I don't listen to Enya, but I want a castle like Enya.
Oh
She
yeah.
doesn't she doesn't tour. She doesn't do nothing. She just puts out her music and she's living off those royalties forever. In
Well,
a castle in England somewhere. Like, and it's phenomenal. Like, and she just does
I
nothing. La la
remember
la. Amazing. But we have a few questions. Everyone's just gone. Woo.
Grouper
So
is great. Am I
we
doing the
have, I will, so first question is what makes you happy? It's not the easiest question.
pass?
Um, any new candles in the future, like the blue vapor one?
And you knew what?
Candles, like the blue vapor one that you just had.
Candles? I mean, I do it as a hobby. Like, I like, because it makes like everything smell amazing. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're on my website, but like, wait, what makes me happy? Writing
Hmm.
music makes me happy. Painting,
Yeah.
being in love, chasing love.
Yes, you are. You definitely you're a lover.
I'm a
Yeah,
lover. I'm an
you are.
Aries.
Yeah.
Fire.
I'm a terrible, I mean, I'm a lover too, but I'm a Libra, so I'm like destined to be constantly I'm like lovelorn, hopeless romantic type all the time.
Hey, is this 19 October what?
I'm 30th of September.
Okay, early. My mother is a Libra and she's an like she reads tarot and believes that she's clairvoyant and stuff.
Hmm.
So I was
Wow.
raised in a household of astrology, believe it or not.
Hmm.
So that's cool that you're like the same sign as my mom, who I love.
Yeah, it's a good sign. So, um, someone else wants to know if there's a possibility of a third photo book.
Yeah, totally. I just have to take more pictures. Like, yeah, I've been a little depressed, like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to take a whole bunch of depresso selfies and
No,
things,
like
you know.
I need to.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, sadly, we are gonna run out of time, and I don't want it to just chop you off. So I'm gonna say a proper goodbye, um, before we get booted. And it was so lovely to see you and speak to you.